I don't think we needed a slow-mo replay that last one, but...
God, I'm Shroud.
oh dear. 5-3. A couple of rounds back-to-back.
This goes here.
The players from Leviathan starting to wake up, but yeah, that was a reduced investment in the last round from Trace. Rolling Thunder will now be online once again, and early control, even with a boom bot in hand.
They're pushing them right back, but Leviathan are all too happy for that to be the case. The Rolling Thunder expected and denied, with players now far back. They'll concede site control, but look to take it back with numbers quickly here. Any aggression will be punished, and a shock dart through from Calm, taking out Bianche. Another shock dart does big damage. Beautiful stuff from the side of Leviathan. They haven't had to face them, and already these players are nice and squishy.
And the post plants have been where Trace thrive. Overdrive utilized, information gone, and paranoia even sent through to try and leave them in awkward positions. Oh, in fact, almost a kill directly through the smoke. Re-aggression attempting to do something, but they are being torn apart. It's left all on Takai. He knows where they are. The spam isn't going to do anywhere near as much as he's hoped for, and even though he catches the kill, they're already diffusing. Just not enough time for him to get that done. An incredibly nice attempt from the Sentinel. He's made things costly, but it wasn't a round. That's gone to Lev.
Yeah, he should have fallen flat there and been deleted instead. At least able to put up a fight, carry the weapon through, but like you said, the timeline's all that really matters. 3 times in a row, Trace have gotten themselves a site, more or less for free, although this time the shock dart certainly added an extra flair to it. 3 times in a row, we've seen Leviathan fight back and grab those diffuses. Economy, though, for the defensive side, is in a shaky enough position. Trace could still capitalize, but they're not too healthy either. This is going to be a swing round for the lead. Trace have their sights set on B.
Yeah, they definitely know that Aspas is there. There's no doubt about it. Drone is available. It makes me a little bit nervous just because of who's on the other side. Available to get aggressive, and it's actually Tex to land the first. The guy defending, the paranoia, the stun, in fact, everything has caught on to Aspas. He's still going forward though! And he's just torn them a new one. It leaves Hebe to try and fight alone, but this round is for Aspas.
He uses his own stun to keep them in position. And then another comes in from a teammate. Door closed behind them, and well, that's the door closed on the round. A timeout called now by Trace. Not happy with how this has gone, and they just got decimated by Aspas, so I'm not surprised.
He starts his move while still stunned up because he knows it's going to fade while he's swinging.
And he knows they're going to be stunned. He had full faith in Mazzino's breach stun.
That's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough, honestly. I think if Mazzino was my teammate, he'd carry me. But also, I'd have faith.
I have no doubt in that, Tom. I have absolutely no doubt in what you just said.
Oh, yeah.
But
you reckon he can play in bronze? It's actually tougher down there, you know.
Oh, yeah. People do things you're not expecting, you know? Well, Trace...
No one DM me saying bronze commentator. Don't you dare. It's not true. It's a joke, please. I don't want those DMs.
It's at least silver.
At least. Minimum. I'm a peak gold. Oh, pause taken. 4 rounds in a row. The 3 before it had contention. Retakes were necessary, but that was, I guess, much more of what we had expected to see. The Aspas show with support. For the other side of things, the economy is still a bit sketchy. Again, we've spoken about the fact that they're able to do quite a lot with very little, but I guess with loss bonus maximized and a few extra credits here and there, they can afford to go in for what we currently see in this round. Ultimates, not particularly close, but a kill or 2 in this round could mean that they have a lot online for the next.
Standing ahead.
Like you said, limited on the attacking side, but they've done some serious damage with less than this. Same old story with that shock dart, but Tex has been very aware of that in the early round. Moving his traps around. This time one for mid, broken, and Fong right into the fight. And it's Calm to actually take that kill, certainly softened up by Aspas. Two players you don't want to fight in current form, but Calm has been dropped. The rifle, the bulldog in play for Hebei. Aftershock on both sides, and it's Hebei forced to the open, taken down. Yankee's taking space in the meantime, but in goes Aspas, and he ain't taking any prisoners. 6-5. Leviathan from a 5-1 deficit have claimed back the lead.
It really feels like he's back. The last few rounds have just been Aspas styling, using those slides, using the fact that they're almost completely accurate, just to take fights that really should be impossible for the opponent to react. Look, we're just looking at it from his POV. They don't even see a thing. Gone in a flash. Well, he could barely see anything from the fights he's taken, but there is no opportunity to respond. Lead taken by Leviathan. The pause that they called, clearly a turnaround point. I'm not sure what was said. Might just have been something as simple as remember who you are.
I mean, there really are. There's two kinds of Aspas. First time they played Grew, and second, and you rarely get the second performance. He had a tough time there, was shut down in every duel he went for, but now right back on form. Rolling Thunder used to deny the planned aggression from Fong, caught immediately, and Aspas back to his old tricks, sliding around, looking for the fights and finding them. Calm, again, assisting on those kills, taking them down in the end, and Hunter's Fury used to try to keep them in the choke point. King is here, and he's defending his throne. 7-5 now. From a 5-1 lead, Trace have got nothing, but the foundations are still set for the second half.
Yeah, I think they're going to appreciate this, the halftime break, because in all honesty, those last 6 rounds, like, they started with some sort of competition. Maybe there was rounds that could have gone the other way, but that was a slaughter. We'll be back after that break to see if they can do it on the defense.
Oh, come on. Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Remember when he died. All right, time to get back into things. 7-5 when we left you off. Leviathan were in full swing, getting themselves round after round, 6 in a row. But the pistols have always fallen into Trace's hands so far. We'll see if they can keep that going. Here on the defensive side, there's a challenge. That challenge is just to stop Aspas from killing you all.
Yeah, I think as well, now the game becomes about supporting him. We saw it in the first half as well. I think Fong as well had those sort of moments where there were like paranoias and stuff put into place to set him up with stuns. The same will be said for Aspas leading the charge. Maybe see if they can get themselves their first pistol, but there's already a trap being set by the defensive side. Oh!
Well, that is quite the reaction.
Who was trapped?
Aspas doesn't seem to be slowing down, and right into the fight, but Hebei and Yankee, they've got the control. Trading it out, keeping the numbers now equal, and then that's when Locking steps it up. The paranoia doesn't land, but the shots do. The plant from Calm. All that remains of the hope of Leviathan taking a pistol here. You know, 1 versus 2, both players 70 HP, no shields to work with, but they're already on the spike.
They've already pinged exactly where he was going, or at least it seemed it. Now starting to realize that he could have gone back in the other direction. The spam just not on at this point. Already getting it to half. They're going to look to try and fight him together. And there was a world where he wins that. But his doppelganger, Bianca, is going to be the one to take that over the line. It is another pistol round for the side of Trace 1. But a plant and a lot of kills. There could even be a temptation to force.
I wouldn't be surprised with Aspas on this form. Half the time he dies, he's shot in the back. You get to see his eyes. You ain't going anywhere. The big round from Law King, holding down that control on mid, swinging out, giving his life for the trade. And that was all they needed. The pistol, another early injection of rounds, and as we saw in the first half, that was very essential. Them being able to keep this close. Aspis off rip, no force buy. Pistols, a couple invested into.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy round.
Yes, the few extra credits off the plant and kills just being expended into this one. A chance to do some extra damage. And you can see that Trace definitely had the same thought. They haven't gone for any pistols this time around. There was always seemingly one, but wanting to make sure that they can convert this round as cleanly as possible. So now any loss here will be costly. SMG or two, it's not the end of the world. You lose any of those rifles, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I want to see limited losses, although off rip.
Well, that's a rifle.
It's Leviathan with the opening pick, with a rifle to be recovered. Luckily, Aspis is nowhere nearby. That won't be given to him just yet, but they're grouping up. Going to approach this one as a blob, go back to meet King, who's tucked in inside of B main. If they take site control, this is a different round altogether. Trace have to be very careful not to give away too much here.
Okay, already getting the information. Smoke for top mid. Almost trying to bait their opponents. It seems to have worked. They're re-aggressing into middle. In fact, it seems like they've got completely the wrong read. Going back towards the A side, I'm not sure what the point of call was. What gave the game away. But whatever it is, it was completely wrong. This is going to be a post plant over on that B site. And now having themselves potential to maybe play main or, with those pistols, play aggro.
That's a problem. Yeah, from this point, trades all that Leviathan need, and they've been spectacular in early fights, even without that rifle that now sits on calm. Trace having to use up the stun to clear the first angle. Law King hoping to catch them off guard, and he might just do that. He's being flanked on though, and does he suspect it? 2 quick kills, but shot in the back. I think he's got just enough done to give them a chance. 30 HP on Tex, trying to buy time, but the defuse is underway. Someone needs to go out and drop that diffuser, and there's no one to do it. The rifle still inside of main. It will not be carried forward. Mizzino looking to do as much damage as he can, and that is huge. At the start of this round, a couple of kills would have been a fantastic end. Instead, they've left it with 1 man alive coming into round 15.
Yeah, I almost wonder if Trace will even opt to play this one as a bonus anymore. Like, do you just fully invest and try and fight this as your buy round? The problem, though, is that economically, they're not going to be in a fantastic spot to even do that, even if they spent everything here. So, huge round, and again, just a pretty big misread from them in terms of where Leviathan were going to be going. Now they come up with a fall buy. It's going to be SMGs, pistols. In fact, Heibei is only on a classic.
A lot of players pushed up. They're going to try to use the aggression to catch them off guard, make up for those weaker weapons, and it certainly worked to start with. Texas being spotted. He is completely surrounded. Players absolutely everywhere. There's no way out. He tries to fight his way out, and he's doing it. 3 big kills. This could have been a nail in the coffin for the round. Instead, an uphill battle remains for Trace. Kai, well, now detected. They've got all the information. The cage might buy him a moment to breathe, but his teammate's being dropped down to the classic. Aspis is dropped with 20 HP left and a flank under. Get your gun out, Zeno. Flank underway, now caught him. Stuns got him. There's nowhere for Kai to go. It would have to be the headshots, and it's just not to be. 8 rounds for Leviathan.
It almost feels like Tex was shooting off warning shots to begin with, because it went from not connecting a spray to hitting every single bullet in a second. Again, with what was on offer, I don't mind the idea in the round. Get aggressive, put the pressure on, and if it wasn't for some incredible isolation of battles and more so just the headshots,
let's go.
that easily could have slipped away. Leviathan are going to take the lead once again after their big streak in the previous half. But this is where the defensive side do come back in with a purchase. An immediate push though. Aspas has almost caught BNK, and in fact with the stun, he gets both players!
Follow-up is there from King to A site, completely overrun. Blink and you miss it. I see the credits are low, but that felt more like an eco.
Yeah.
He just dismantled that setup. And now, well, all that's left is to save. You can see Kai already repositioning his utility. be a little bit more defensive. But that's a big blow to the side of Trace. This was their round, and like you said, almost getting caught. Even as the barriers went up, Bianche doesn't expect Aspas to be that close. And that's a worrying sign, because he's going to do that a lot, and you've got to be ready for it.
There's either going to be immediate pressure onto elbow in a lot of rounds. We've seen that with many teams. I think the example that always springs to my mind is how Heretics play it with Pot Flash. You do the same thing with Breach. So either you're expecting fast elbow control, or you have to be ready for that push towards short, and he was completely unaware. Then just again a solid stun, but the rest is Aspas. The rest is why we put this guy in the bracket of the best. Like, it is so difficult to play against, and then there's just even the swing from the rest of the team. He's done the hard bit, but they're there to clean up the rest. Again, we've seen this in the previous map. The pause is being called by Trace before the problems, well, I don't want to say the problems haven't arisen, but before it gets too dangerous. Like, you've only lost one round that I would say that you have to be a little bit more careful with. The last round, you came in with weak weapons, you lost the round. It's not the end of the world. This one, you had your first 4-buy on the site, and you get decimated within 15 seconds.
Barriers up, players down. Trace have one last chance to touch in with the coaching staff, and a 2-round gap, it's not gone too far. Like you say, before it gets out of hand, this is where they want to do it. But the fact that they invested so much last round means they don't have a lot of credits for this one. So even deciding how heavy the investment should be is going to be a challenge. At 9-7, one roadblock to Leviathan. They're in the home stretch. Credits sitting pretty as well. No matter what happens, they're going to be able to buy up in the next. And if they keep getting a run at it, well, the way Aspas has been running at it, this map might not last long.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I do want to see an ascent, so I'm kind of okay with that. But I'm waiting to see. Once again, I think at this point it would be foolish to doubt the team of Trace. I think that we were foolish the first series, maybe even a little foolish in the first map. But that has long gone already. A good reveal, even a good stun. But Mazzino is going to win that initial fight. Hex has been traded out, even with these lower weapons. There's danger. In fact, they're going to use that Rolling Thunder to try and push the defense back. This has become a deathmatch server, except one team has only more pistols. There's always one, right?
Yeah, and one team has Aspas.
What?
Sure. That's going to work for you most of the time, although Kai's managed to shut him down. 1 versus 3 now. Perhaps an opportunity with Mazzino low. Spotted up by the drone, swung on and sent package. Eventually has to break the drone. Little reload to close it out. Okay. Check their positions on Leviathan. They're tucked in. They're letting him take the first move, and they'll shut him down right afterwards. Contact from Com, and then a triple, or at least a double swing. And whatever angle Kai decides. Say it's an uphill battle. I mean, when they play like this, it's an unwinnable one, almost. Oh, if that shot had landed, perhaps.
The thing is, it's fine for Mazzino to do that. He's 5 HP. Like, if you don't hit the headshot, he gets to survive, and Com will close the round. Double digits. Leviathan getting closer and closer to a map 3. Maybe a place that the initial expectations weren't to be, but after the first, well, maybe even expectations back in the other direction. It was a 5-1 start that has now turned into a pretty healthy lead now. Again, the last time the defensive side had themselves a purchase, they got slaughtered. We'll see if they've been able to react.
Hopefully we won't see that same pace. Fung Fung over here, ready for the fight. But look who's going in, full pelt. It's Aspas. He's caught, well, he stunned himself. He stunned us many times with his individual ability. Paranoia kept him back for a moment. Now it's time to push right back into that site. In goes Anders Fury, and Aspas is shredding them, doing all the damage, making this ult look a lot stronger than it usually is. And he's got the firepower backing up every single duel. It's Kai left to do absolutely nothing. 3 kills for Aspas, and Trace's chances looking slim.
Yeah, they barely took any damage in that round. Normally we talk about this man's Jet. I think his Raze is a close second, and then, okay, he's a good Neil. He's a good Neil. Right now, he's been unstoppable. 21-9. The supportive utility as well. I love seeing him diving in alongside that Hunter's Fury. It means that anybody is slightly displaced, you need to be holding an angle ready to insta-headshot him because he's sliding all over the place, moving at the speed of sound. And so the Hunter's Fury in combination makes it so hard to play against. Now that was a very good ult. I was about to say, we saw 3 players get pinged up immediately. I think there must have been either a combination flash or stun. I think, well, it's definitely a stun.
Follow up on to come. Weak weapons across the board. Okay, Mizzino's making a play. Trigger discipline on display. Got one, but that's it. Fong Fong now activated. Tex tagged up by that nade, but he's not deterred. Still pushing forward. 2 players extremely low. One of them in this first crossfire. The firing squad takes it across the line. 8 for Trace. Their chances were slim, but that improves them a little bit.
Yeah, I guess the initial combo, I did a huge gamble. Like, just throwing that in immediately. I think there may have been a ping initially. Yeah, so it's the dart that's used straight away. Fantastic to catch them all. And then just the push up, I think maybe even a stun. Yeah, that's a gorgeous setup. That was all based on just that dart catching someone. Maybe they even do it anyway, just off contact, but that is a huge round from the initiators of this defensive side. It's one that isn't recreatable though. The only thing I will say, they still have a lot of ults, but this is an early fight. How does he still get one?
Well, the stun certainly helped out. Might have saved the day. Push up from Trace on the back of the Rolling Thunder. They've gone through middle, but the paranoia sent them packing. One player being caught by the Rolling Thunder as well, so definitely chopping up this defensive side aggression. However, Locking finding one puts the favor back on the defense. 3 players close, and the information there to play with. The attacking side executing is a different story. Seems like Trace have come back online at just the right time. 2 versus 4, and the info now in their hands.
Ooh, just getting out of there seemed like it would be difficult. They have managed it. All 4 players on this B side of the map, so they're able to move into this A site. They will be able to get themselves an afterplan. All the utility has pretty much been expended. An extra smoke is granted to King, but it's thrown down immediately. And you have to feel like this retake should be too difficult, but you never know.
I think they're deciding on whether to break that trap or just sit inside the smoke, and King's made the choice. No one's going to give him it though. They're all going the other way. For a second I thought Bianca would double back. They made the right call. Tex already spotted. They don't know about King, but now they do. All the info there, but the kill's going the other way. Spike still needs to be defused. Kai does well. And the trap catches King eventually. Uses the Shrouded Step to try to fake them out. But Kai's not falling for that one. The defuse close. But just about enough time. 0.91, under a second. But Trace's dream's still alive on map number 2.
I feel so bad for him that the trip that he doesn't break is what ends up being his undoing. That is so cursed. None of them come in that direction. And all in all, it's a good play. Like, you want to sit there and go, okay, if anybody comes through this, they're not going to expect me just to be sat on the edge. Again, a lot of counter util being expended, ultimates utilized, and more importantly, yeah, just some big plays to end it all out with under a second. A nice attempt from the side of Leviathan, but a 2-round streak. Operator now in as well for Fong Fong. We'll see. That could be the difference maker, because without the ultimates, they really haven't had any success in their rounds.
Felt like a third map was inevitable, certainly owed in a series like this. Trace don't want that. They're looking for their 2-0, still with a showstopper in play. Fong Fong has that towards the A site. It's Leviathan setting up for the B site take. Stun goes through, catches no one. It's quite a deep play from the defensive side. There's no ultimates for the attackers. They're just conceding this space. Probably knowing that if Fong Fong rotates, Showstopper can breach right back through whatever post plant's in play.
Well, 2 spotted, an immediate stun. Aftershock isn't quite deep enough. Will be countered immediately. The push onto the site. We'll garner them a plant, and the Showstopper's on the other side of the map. There's going to have to be a a sprint from Fong Fong, and he's got to be aware as well that there is still a player lurking. In fact, a couple that could double up in a crossfire. Aspas is going to try again. This time he's caught, but so is Lord King as well.
The up rotate, checking the wrong angle as well. Tex able to grab one, and Kai is so desperately trying to pull this round back into their favor. King's gone down, and so's Mazzino. They know exactly where the last man is, but he gets the jump again. Out goes the cam, it's broken. He knows the defuse isn't underway, tries to stop it from getting the half. And while doing so, takes his 4th kill for a Red Bull clutch and map point.
He's definitely had his moments in this game as Tex, 18 and 16, but that might just be the best of them. A lurk of absurd impact, waiting so patiently to catch that first. You think a lot of the time when that door's closed that you would almost try and maybe push the spawn or reposition elsewhere. He's confident in his team getting into the late game and then confident in his own ability to take it over the line. A meaningful clutch that puts them on map point, the potential to take this to Ascent, a map that both teams are incredibly comfortable on, and a great place to end this series.
Especially in the last round, considering they closed the door and they were stuck in market with so much utility coming at them. That's when you just don't think there's a lurker anymore. Like, why would the guy be sat there staring at a closed door? But that's why. He wanted the round under his belt, and a phenomenal time to step up to the plate. 12-9, 3 in a row for an overtime for Trace. We're going all the way to Ascent. Map that, like we said, definitely deserved to see a 3rd map from this series. Leviathan fighting for it. Showstopper fire not landing. Aspas, he took the damage, but at least managed to trade out. And King still fighting for the backside control. Yankei caught off guard. It's Kai and Walking to do it all. The step out from Kai with the paranoia, but they're just evading him, dancing around this pillar, forcing the fight. This time, it seemed to go Trace's way. That's when King and Kong close out the map. 13-9. We're going all the way to Ascent, and it's not over yet for the Leviathan fans.
Yeah, they might have been beaten down in that first map, needed a response after a slow start, but Leviathan are definitely back, and we'll see who's going to take it in the decider.
Trade in any phone in any condition guaranteed and get $800 off the new Galaxy Z Fold 6. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
I see what he loves about you. You're so perfect. Hope you know that you got everything. I messed up and I'm haunted. And if I'm being honest, I see what he loves about you. You're so perfect. Hope you know that you got everything.
up the win on Sunset, forcing a map 3. Welcome back, everyone. You got Golden Boy along with Paperton and Achilleos here as we break everything down. And, you know, we were talking about this being a strong map for Leviathan, but I'll tell you one thing. It didn't start that way.
No.
It was getting a little dicey.
Yeah, it didn't start off too great, but there was moments like this from Comp that just really started turning things completely on its head. I mean, you saw there right at the start, they only had one round win before Comp picked up that 4-piece.
Yeah.
But this was very much, Tex, Ospas going absolutely crazy in the lobby. And honestly, the fact that they're able to close this map and still haven't gotten a single pistol win, overall, good for Lev, at least in a microcosm of this Sunset map. But
Fair.
As far as the tournament projections and future series look, as well as that map 3, gotta win some damn pistols.
Yeah,
You want to lift your second trophy, win a pistol.
Yeah. Your odds of winning drastically plummet when you are winning pistols. But Ospas looking great on the Neon. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. The man can play every duelist on the planet to such a high level. I mean, he's such a smooth criminal on this Neon. He's just sliding right by it.
Told you it was going to be an Ung Des.
I love it.
Told you it was going to be an Ung Des. No, but honestly, you're right. He really is just so damn good and such a reliable person for this team. But it's good to see a couple of those other rifles coming online here for Leviathan, because it was certainly missing in that first map. Of course, though, one rifle that definitely went online was Comms. Takes us to our Verizon high-speed moment. A beautiful 4K. And you think, surely my guys are going to go for more. Finds the blinded raise right there. Pops 2 back-to-back. Looks for the other one in Beyond K. And just they lined up for him. But let me tell you, they made that one quite difficult because they were trying to get some tags off him there, but it just wasn't enough. Overall, though, that right there is exactly, Paperton, what you want to see from Leviathan, from Com, to kind of get things going here.
Yeah, their big players were stepping up. Tex was having a great map as well. So it was like these big moments that started to snowball the map towards their favor. They were getting a better read on how to play against the way that Trace Esports was trying to pilot their attacker side, in particular. A heavy hit, something that Trace struggled with in their previous outing against Vitality. They were able to adapt. They started pulling back. They started putting some more pressure onto the onto the plant themselves.
Yeah.
Things like that really turned the tide for them and gave them that momentum they needed to carry forward onto the other side of the map.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, of course, earlier in the show, we did bingo.
We attempted to do bingo.
We attempted to do bingo. It didn't come up, but now we got bingo. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill in our blanks here. We got a Lev win, right? We got a
map
TE
3.
win. We got a map 3. We got a 5-round win streak. That did happen from Leviathan, I believe. Ospas reclines.
Low King doesn't play Omen.
Yeah, Low King.
Brim on the first one, I believe.
Okay, you want to put that in? Okay, I didn't know if that's jury's out on that.
Jury's out.
Okay, no one's fallen off the map yet. Ospas ain't breaking a record right now. Oh, did Bianche pick Sova?
Let me look.
Wait.
He did.
He did pick
Yeah,
Sova.
he was just playing it.
I was
Chichu,
like,
my brother,
Mazzino also played Breach.
Mazzino played Breach?
The thing that would be really helpful is if we looked at the teleprompter that has all of the answers.
Oh. You know what? You would think I'm good at my job, but genuinely not.
I mean, I didn't even notice
Lord.
until right this moment as well.
Okay, cool. I think we're good. We didn't get to overtime yet. We haven't played it. We're not gonna play it this. Okay, cool. So far so good. All right, we just need Chichu to come up clutch, and you can win bingo. What you
don't.
win? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll get you a glass of water or something like that.
You win entertainment
Yeah, and joy and happiness in your life.
A sense of self-fulfillment
There you go.
that will briefly linger and then
quickly dissipate.
Quickly fade.
All right, well, let's go ahead and refocus. Let's get ready for map 3. We're going to be taking a trip over to Ascent for this one. And this is, we should be seeing, I believe, Ospas back on that jet here. Yeah. So this is going to be, a jet v jet battle again, right? But this is the map that's, bread and butter, right? Could you maybe see, you're going to run, we know what people run on Ascent. Maybe try something out of the blue here?
I'd be really shocked to see it, but the guy who is just on our screen is going to be a big focus between these two, Kai and Aspas. We fully anticipate Kai is going to be getting his first game on Duelist in this series coming into this. He's been on Cypher so far.
Right.
So fully anticipating that he is going to be coming out here with that jet, and he was huge for Trace in that series versus Vitality. My biggest concern, though, for them, as we see, there's not going to be anything too shocking. Still do have that deadlock variant here for Leviathan. But the biggest concern that I have is that series versus Vitality, it was an overtime game. It was 15-13 for Trace to be able to get that. It did not come easily for them.
Yeah. This is a tough map, and I think they're going to have a tough time. You know, now they're going to have that deadlock used against them. And on Ascent, it's pretty good on both sides of the coin, whereas Bind, you know, you want to talk about the deadlock as being so oppressive on the attacker side in particular. But on Ascent, there's a lot of angles you can use for the sonic sensors in the wall on the defender side as well. And Leviathan is one of the best in the world at using the deadlock overall in this map. They're so good with their protocols. They understand how to play off the utility extremely precisely.
I mean, 100% win rate here for both of these teams in recent history. We haven't seen Lev drop this since May when they lost in the lower final versus G2. So they have had a decent win streak built up for them.
Well, we're headed into map 3, folks. Can Trace Esports do it again and take down Leviathan? Let's go ahead and find out. Send it back to your casters, Mitch and Tom.
Thank you so much, GB. The third map, the one we hoped we'd get to. Trace have put up one hell of a fight so far. It's been a close series. Let's hope it's the same here, Tom.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think both teams very comfortable on this map. In fact, I wouldn't have been surprised if there was a world where either of these teams picked this map. I think versus other teams that they would have done, but it was basically both had the expectation the other wanted to play it, so they left it to this third and final map. This is the best map, arguably, of either side at times. Maybe the icebox for Leviathan, but it's going to be the attack side start. This is where you have high expectations from the side of Leviathan. They can lock off so many angles, create awkward positions using all of that utility, and already sweaty lineup.
Well, there goes the net. It's landing in a spot with no players. Same for the Paranoia. Much closer angles being held by Trace on the site, around the door. Up top, Kai goes in for one, but doesn't find it. That's okay. He'll fall back to the site, and the rotate's underway from behind K, but take a look at Leviathan. They're going elsewhere. The read is made by Trace. Don't know if they're going to get here quite in time, though. And in fact, it's a double fake.
Yeah, they've now locked them off on short as well. They've placed down the barrier, so obviously the time of it may have run out at that point, but there's still very little information. The only thing that worries me a bit is how much time it's actually going to take them to get round to this position. Still a pot flash available for Hebe and a couple of shock darts, but those are not going to be anywhere near this fight.
Recons and smokes, angle sectioned off. They know the backside is under their control, but down below, still one lurking. It's Law King for the double, and he's eventually shut down. But the damage is done. The drop dump from Hebe that gives a chance back to Leviathan. They need to plant. 10 seconds on the clock. And the shock dart, they're not quite landing for the damage. King safe from the reveal. That's a blind side and a win for Leviathan in the pistol. 1-0.
Yeah, there was no expectation that there was going to be a player up in heaven. The dart, even in hand, but just fired on the other side of the wood, and because of that, it doesn't actually reveal. They're expecting players down below. This seems to happen in almost every pistol where there's a player over on the Trace side who looks like they're dead to rights. Like maybe they get one kill and they still come out with a little bit more. But this time, Aspas is able to match them on it. The first pistol that goes the way of Leviathan. The exact start they were looking for coming into the final map.
Now round 2. A different buy to what we've seen from Trace every time they've won the pistol. There's been heavy investments. And for Leviathan, they've gone for 2 rifles, an SMG, and 2 pistols. So there's quite a bit of room for error. The margin is wide this time. Some players spotted getting a little bit aggro on A, and we're going to have the drone go through. It should be broken by Hebe before it can find too much information. And denied even the ability to clear out wine. We're going to see Leviathan give up this angle and fall back towards middle.
Yeah, this is a nothing but utility round for the defense. So you kind of expect no kills, but they are stacking up in a manner that could cause issues. They're giving no information away, only the turret for contact. And everything else is just reliant on if they can get anything from this crossfire. The thing is, you expect there to be some counter utility. Paranoia is solid. It did catch one. Okay, that's not bad. At least a kill going their way. In fact, the second is there as well. Aspas, though, puts a pin in it. He's going to try and deny anything more, and even still, they managed a third kill.
2 versus 2, not a bad situation for Trace to find themselves in, but the
I
door
mean, timing.
closed, blocks out a player. Kai up in heaven, not even punished for the kill. Now Calm surrounded, and he can only get one.
It's classics!
They might not win the pistol, but they sure as hell win the second pistol. Their follow-up.
They bought nothing.
That's ridiculous.
They literally didn't buy anything. How have they managed to... Like, I thought the moment that Aspas got 3 kills, it's over now. It's over now. And then Kai just walks out and just manages to get a free kill onto him, blindsided. But this is... I don't know. This has to be one of the most embarrassing rounds I think Lev have lost in a long time. It was just classics. 1-1.
Information at times. Even here. Fun opened the door. They know.
Yes. Yes, there we go. Let the rage consume you.
That's a devastating loss. If they thought losing the pistols was bad, well, this is a slightly
finally
worse
won
way
one.
to start it. Blade Storm active for Aspas.
Which is insane, by the way.
Yeah.
To have a Blade
Third
Storm when you won one round and lost a round, like, it's just nuts. It shows that he's still been carrying his weight. The rest of the buy stinks. And look at the other side. Look how much they have financially.
Wow.
And while this is the one time you needed a little bit more from him. Fong as well. Now, of course, worth mentioning, from Raze to Killjoy, it's the switch up of duelists, but both seem comfortable in their alternate roles. I will say, I'm quite excited to see Kai in the duelist because he has looked filthy playing over in China.
Yankee picking up one. Fung overextends eventually, but it's being cleaned up across the board. Just a 1 loss. And a gorgeous start to this third map for Trace. And I have to say, you can see already that they have the ideas. They sort of knew what Leviathan were going to go for there. Fung playing way back, so the paranoia didn't catch him, and then he's able to quickly execute on Aspas, who was dashing in to try and catch him off guard. But there was no one caught off guard on the side of Trace, and the Blade Storm falls flat.
That is the cool thing with the idea, though, from Leviathan, is a lot of the time they combine that paranoia with a net in the exact position that he tried to hold from. It's just further back. So it's definitely, like, there is a plan. That time wasn't put into play. But there is now a purchase backup. Now, information is known from either side. King is throwing down smokes in middle, giving space to others. In the meantime, something we're going to see quite regularly, I'd imagine, is this B push from Kai. He loves to take deep control, and it allows for them to have much earlier rotations. Hebei, though, has to escape.
Avoids the net that was thrown through just seconds later. The orb gifted to Calm, now just 1 away from a Hunter's Fury. Big round for Leviathan, and they're on the rotate. Looks like they'll attempt to get some space with Tex later on, and well, his timing is going to be key. If Kai swings into him, he might have a chance. If he swings into Kai, I don't believe he will, and with a trap in hand, it got dangerous. In fact, he has trapped him.
That's actually brilliant.
Precision.
He was like, okay, what's the chance of someone just holding on the edge of my trip? I'll put it down just slightly deeper and take the other one back. Clever stuff. The problem is, look at the stack. There's still 3 players here. It's only that one operator on the defense, but they start rotating away. They start pulling back. It will leave just 2 here to hold, and in fact, make that just 1. Well, King, the same as the pistol, needs to go big. The rotation has come through from above, but it's going to be an all-out brawl. Aspas, King combining, and Aspas again, leaving Kai, well, to save.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to want to risk this operator, is he? 4 players left alive for Leviathan. They don't have a sense that he's saving just yet, but they will eventually. I'm not sure, you know, he got revealed and he had the op in hand. It just depends if someone was staring him down and got to see that big gun in play. But he hasn't had a chance to flex it just yet. No one's stepping into his crosshair. The Leviathan, right back on the horse, tying it up 2-2, and after a pretty horrible way to start out the half, they have at least got themselves a little bit of momentum stolen from Trace. Problem is, because of that rough start, Trace will be buying right back up.
I do think as well that's just a read. Like, if you've watched Trace play this before, if you've seen Kai play before, he's a big fan of the sniper. Like, you'll be excited because there's high potential. He pulls out the outlaw on the attack. Like, he loves just going for those mid fights. I even saw them have a second round buy, which was a double outlaw attack, and then had some SMGs alongside it just to sort of pad the gap. But I think that is just the guys over on Leviathan doing their research, knowing that he likes to push B main, knowing that he likes to take that control, and just forcing it back. And even though they did manage to get the players back in position to fight it, they were too far forward. They forced them into a box and then put them up against the bodyguard of Aspas, who is now 8-2.
Well, there's the up shining through eventually. Tex is the one to fall right off rip. Dodging the initial spam, Hunter's Fury sent through, reveal, decent. Not able to track Hebe though. And the pulses ultimately falling flat from that ultimate. Kai not able to land the shot either. The cloud burst offering a little bit of protection. Moment of solace for Leviathan. The shock dart decent. The plant could be secured. Although, Tracer very quick to break all the utility. Door open, barrier gone. Or door mostly broken, it's not quite fully. And they're on the run from this annihilation. At least they should be!
Oh no! It's gonna be the catch. I don't know if they have time to break it. They should, but it doesn't matter. All too easy. The sensors are gonna catch them as they look to make their way back into the site. Kai though, he's gone from operator to Odin and somehow made it work. Back to the operator again! I don't know what that was. That was maybe the greatest juggling we've ever seen. If that was an outlaw, Mitch would be on the floor.
That was absolutely gorgeous, Tom. You know what? I love it when someone swaps out the big expensive gun for the big, quite also expensive gun. They haven't saved it though. That's a mark against their good name. Irrespective, what a round from Kai. The opening shot, precise. Although the Annihilation manages to take down Bianca, that didn't slow them at all. They knew there was someone down below and Kai was hunting them down relentlessly, runs the ammo dry, and goes straight back in for more. That is a confident player if ever I've seen one. 3-2. Leviathan have at least some credits to fall back on. It's not going to be easy here. Light shields across the board, and early on a ton of information for Trace. They're playing a risky game against this operator, and the flash is good, but the shot lands for King.
Yeah, it leaves them with a disadvantage, but also it doesn't look like Leviathan are going to overface this one. They're happy to just take that control, even have a sensor available to set up King if he needs it, and the rest of the team are going to go pushing around the other side of the map. And you can see the defense have fully rotated already, leaving just Loking over on a short. He might be the one that's going to come under some serious pressure here. Although, as said, Leviathan, after getting that man advantage, are very comfortable to just feel out the map.
That's exactly what they're doing. The A site will be their ultimate target. You can already see the rotation from Recon online. It's been an essential part of how they take this A site. Recon up, dash in, try to get Aspas the opportunity to take a kill from inside his cloud burst while they're being revealed.
Left.
I think we're going to see much the same this time. Smoke for left. Nice shot by King though. He's kept control over short. The reveal will give them all the info. There's no one here. A site wide open. Oh, but the flank! Not expected! That's a massive oversight from Leviathan.
He double shrouded step up the top of mid, so didn't make the step noises. And I don't know if that just completely caught Cobb off guard, or maybe he was just tunnel visioned in. But now they're going to try and fight more aggressively. There's 3 players. Bladestorm activated. Mazzino, again, we've seen this so many times. That stun causing issues. Over the top goes Kai, and then the trade is there. It's all onto Mazzino. Fighting 1 versus 3. He knows where they're defusing. He's trying to catch him with the spam, but it's not accurate. It's not on. He's not getting anything. He's defusing right in front of him. If Bianc is even there to close the round. We're seeing ludicrous play after ludicrous play. Give me those TPs. Give me the TPs of him just going up top mid.
Take some gold to just shrouded step straight through. Here he is, finding the kill.
He literally just, used 2 shrouded steps. You can see he's got none online just to get to top mid.
Through.
No, he didn't sprint.
He stepped.
But you can understand why. You can understand why you'd just be fooled by such an aggressive play.
Yankee rattling off those Odin shots as well, sectioning players and taking them down in the end. Leviathan have called the timeout. This half certainly hasn't gone as they wanted. That didn't stop them from taking the previous map. But here on Ascent, Tom, you were telling me earlier, Trace, they don't really know what defeat tastes like, do they?
No, the closest game they've had has been facing off against Vitality. This is the one map where they've consistently been able to best FPX. I don't think they've not played it versus EDG, so they'll tell you what you like. Maybe that would have been a different story. But other than that, they are 6-0 for the year, 5-0 for here and the last split. Even though it was incredibly close versus Vitality, this is where they win. But the same can be said, if you go over, not the whole year, there's been 2 incredibly close defeats back in stage 1 for Leviathan. That kind of paints a picture that they're kind of good, because since then they dominated G2 last time out. And I think, as we've seen throughout, they were 5-1 down in the last map. Pause taken in the half 7-5. So let's not even get close to counting them out just yet.
Barriers back up. Post pause for Leviathan. They've been picking up rounds most of the time. Here on the attack, they look to close the gap, but it's pistols
I must wait a
and
moment.
SMGs, and they need to be very cautious. Yankee, hungry for a battle, waiting for contact, but soon he's going to run out of patience, and, well, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. They're all here. He hears the drone go out, and now the spams, but the Sheriff's on the other side, doing damage, 4-10 through. But the close one almost takes down Aspas, 15 HP. Yankee not even checked on the way in, but Tex is able to drop him. Aspas on 15 isn't dead. He's still going to be able to take a fight or two, and they need to be very cautious about the amount of damage. If Leviathan takes site control, there's upgraded weapons, there's post plants. This could get terrifying in the end, and Tex firing off shots. King joins him. 1 versus 2. Winnable. But Kai saves the day. Damage done, but another round for Trace.
Yeah, decent damage, and they had to bait out the Omen ult as well, just to enforce the back of the site. Even still though, no real trouble economically for Trace. Maybe a couple of orbs up here and there. Annihilation available for Mazzino, which we've already seen in post-plant scenarios, has its benefits. This time though, it looks like after the last round being relatively successful, I don't really blame Leviathan for going, alright, let's run it back with guns.
Why not? Get the counter spam in the Odin. And listen, if anyone knows about this, it is Calm. Captured my heart early on this map. The further back position from Bianchi, finding damage. He's lit Aspas to 50. I think Aspas is getting pretty tired of having an entry on low HP. And now with the rifles, it's even worse. Lockdown used very early on from the side of Trace. Usually you'll see this even in retakes, but they're using it just to stop these players from pushing out. And then the Hunter's Fury catches them on the way back. This was the plan all along. 1 kill and very close to more, sending them into Kai's waiting arms, and he's swinging out. He's going wide, and oh, he's in danger, but he's made it out alive.
There's so much damage done, even to Com. Left on 49 HP, but yeah, the goal was to force them back. The goal was to push them into Kai. The Hunter's Fury even utilized seemingly as a bonus. This time though, Mazzino's not going to fall for the same trick twice. Now he's going to use that Annihilation. Low King caught. It leaves an isolated Fung Fung on the side. First goes his way, but he takes a lot of damage. The spray's not pretty. An opportunity from the brink of defeat in this round has presented itself to Leviathan at the hands of Mazzino.
He's trying to wallbang with the operator, and He's wallbanging with the Phantom. Caught the kills and left Tex all alone. 51 HP, a 1 versus 2. Kai is at least low, but Hebei has been consistent. He might be able to isolate a fight, but in fact, he's the one that's isolated, dropped by the operator's scope. And 6-2 on the board for Trace. A massive round for this squad now, with Leviathan's credits decently low.
I think this guy is very quickly going to become one of the most fearsome operator players in the game. Like, which says a lot when you're in the same region. This guy can. Like, it really does. But there's a reason that I was excited to see this Jet battle after a couple of maps. Bear in mind, he goes from playing a Cypher, playing super passive, like having these defensive setups, looking for basically, oh, this trip's going to catch someone, and then I'm going to basically that. I'm going to wide swing the guy when I'm low on HP, full confidence. Now, Aspas is only going this round, get the orb. And hopefully not from being shot, because otherwise he's not going to have the Blade Storm for this round.
Well, there's Aspas. Blade Storm online. Rifles for the rest. It should be a relatively close round in terms of packing a punch. But again, avoiding Kai. A big part of the early game. Odin still spraying away over towards B main, making some noise. And how did Leviathan plan to bypass all of this? Aspas is definitely making some space for the squad. But the spike's still sitting back on mid, and some aggression in A main tells me this is just going to be a fake.
Yeah, they're trying to bait a rotation. It's possible that they have. Can't really be a check into middle. They're selling the idea that this is going to be a B split, but there hasn't been any maneuver whatsoever. Also bear in mind, null command is available. This ultimate could be gone. In fact, not even needed. It's going to be the knife that does it instead. You'd think this would hold to them, but it doesn't! Instead, it's the swing! Heibei goes out. Already, they know all the information. They haven't spotted Low King either. And now it leaves everything onto Tex. He doesn't have a lot of time. And they know exactly where he is.
Well, his teammate's gone. And he has closed the door with the spike on the other side. He knows he doesn't have time to win this, but... Oh, no! The 180 on a dime with the Odin. And that actually manages the operator save as well. That would have been big economic damage at least. 7-2. I can hardly believe my eyes here, Tom. This much of a lead this early on. We need to see Leviathan come up with an answer, and they need to come up with one fast.
Oh, the utility in this round from Heibei was everything. First things first, the knife takes away the Blade Storm. Just as they're about to entry, literally the second they're about to entry, they lose the Blade Storm. They're already committed. There's 26 seconds left. He pops the ult, makes sure that they won't have any abilities back for pretty much the rest of the take, and then he throws out a pop flash and takes two with him. It's a tough spot. Aspas, because he didn't buy last round, will have a rifle in this round, and well, who's surprised? God, he's going back for a little bit more. This man has no fear. Even a third bite at the cherry. Has to be a bit careful here.
Yeah, they're nice and close. Pistols are going to be happy to take those fights. His fourth shot doesn't find its mark. He's been doing a lot of spamming. Now he's at a nice, safe distance. Kept himself outside of arm's reach for these weaker weapons. On short, double stacked up. Law King's contact will have an immediate response from Heibei. Backside B being defended. They're all the way in Boathouse, and Calm's almost lost his life. He goes back out. He goes and looks for a fight with the Sheriff. It's a brave play. I mean, you look at this map, you would be forgiven for thinking it's a death match. I mean, the attackers are in defender spawn on both sides of the map. They've got a lot of space, but this is calculated. Trace, no, they can't get a plant. They're just trying to force them into a side push where these rifles can have the advantage.
It's going to be tough to clear. And if they are going to run it back,
around the world,
it has to be now. Now, Tex has made it into the site. Heaven in here, and the read is completely wrong. Trace have now stacked 4 players up. Kai is the only one here. For him to go down would be atrocious, but I don't even know if they're going to clear this. In fact, he unscopes. Now here's the plant. Doesn't know that Tex is this close, and he's going to be dead to rights. That's an operator into the hands. This is one of the best chances Lev have got, but he's immediately traded.
They're going for the op. They're running it down. Okay, they'll retrieve it as well with the smoke. Calm's got it. 54 HP. Bogdan's happy. But we need someone to step up to the plate. A weak weapon on King. He's been good on the headshot. And he's good again! Oh! That double up! Bianchi tries to pull this back. The Odin spots both players, and they'll rush onto that spike, start the defuse, put the pressure on, try to split them in two, and that's exactly what they've done. The jump up from Aspas, it's already happened, a double swing to close it. It got way too close, but the recovery is there in the end. And a streak of rounds for China's number 3. They're leading 8-2.
That round had so many things that went wrong for Trace. The initial rotation, the misread after giving up so much control. Leviathan finds space with Tex. They even kill off the superstar of Kai. And then you have this huge double coming up from King. But Bianchi just holding the line. The quick read to get back in to kill off Aspas. Moments that seem to just lead to disaster for Leviathan. I said after pauses last time, that was normally when there was a turnaround. Well, they've lost 6 rounds in a row. They need the last couple.
They really do. Otherwise, the pistol, which so far has been...
Oh, they won 1.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
They did won 1. Well, let's ignore round number 2 where they lost 2.
Of course, you know,
Classics.
Trace probably 4 spot second round, right?
No.
It was all classics. They're pretty good with those weapons. And that's a pretty scary thought moving into the next half. If it's 10-2, even a pistol win for Leviathan, they might lose the next. They need to put rounds up. And this timeout, I agree with you. It's the right time for it. But you can see those dots underneath Trace. They're still colored in. They have felt no pressure so far in this half. See if that can change in the final 2 rounds. Some of the last chances for Leviathan to recover.
It's a day of China facing off against Americas. We'll be honest, I think this one was meant to be the shoo-in. This was the one that everybody looked at and went, okay, Leviathan are in playoffs. Congratulations to them. But the whole way through, Trace had been competitive. Their weaker map of Sunset, they still made it close. Bind fought tooth and nail, and now they sit on ascent, 8-2 in the lead with a 6-round streak. And we're looking at Leviathan and saying, what have you got? You're America's number 1. You have 2 champions, winners. One looking for a repeat. And let's be honest, the rest of the players on that team are not slouches. Already, the reveal attempting to do quite a bit of damage, but there is going to be a response. While the retreat, not going to be punished.
Well, they're certainly worried about someone being up close. All the shock darts and recon sent out in this round. Leviathan have cleared that control. Paranoia, well, it's almost just to do that. Cause paranoia amongst the ranks. Leviathan are spread, looking for an advantage anywhere. They haven't tried this all too often. But again, the patience of Trace is showing off, shining through.
Makes me nervous getting this low on the clock.
20 seconds. Look, Spike
20
is
seconds. Spike mid. They haven't even broken the alarm bot yet. Now that's going to be the reveal. An immediate TP from both sides. That's going to put another player in the boathouse. 10 seconds. They haven't even got close. They've got to get past an Odin. This is looking messy. They need to go right now, and they're going to get slaughtered. It has to be the plan. They have this happen. In fact, I think he let go. I don't know if he's going to get this one. It doesn't even matter. It's absolutely ridiculous. Leviathan are falling flat on their face. The number 1 from Americas. Wow. They're number 2 in this game.
Well, right after a pause, Tom, they get to the site with 5 seconds left and start the plant and then reposition it? There's no time. It was done. You saw the round win pop up. No one needed to defuse. That one was done before it got started. That's a big mistake. That's not one you can be making this deep in a series. In that round, an essential win.
Yeah, as said, they're the ones with experience on this stage. They're the ones with players of high caliber, and right now they're the ones looking outclassed. A new boy on the block in Trace. An organization coming into VCT China, coming into Champions as their first look, and right now, well, it looks like they've been here for years, looking to make their way to join some pretty impressive teams over in the playoffs. Heretics up there. Another team of youngsters.
Spike down mid.
And right now, well, Kai, it doesn't even look like he needs support. He's going to go in for a little bit more. He's looking for style points at this point. Had support from his teammate this time after a miss, but even still, yeah, of course he's going back in for more. Why wouldn't he? Yet to take a point of damage. He's looking to put a 10th round on the board, and finally he's been put down. But does it matter? Absolutely not.
10 rounds on the board at the half. This team, painted as the underdog, well, they are most certainly on top right now. America's #1, pushed to 3 maps, but now pushed to 10-2. We'll see if they can recover in the next half. Welcome back to half number 2. 2 rounds on the board for Leviathan. This has been a dominant display from Trace, and now they're under attack where, I'll be honest with you, I'm even more scared of what Kai can do. He was attacking in half of those defensive rounds.
Well, let's say if some of you are just joining us, it's not a production error. That scoreline is the correct way.
Not swap.
That is a team with high expectations and a team with none. Like, let's be honest, making us champions was a huge stepping stone for Trace. It was showing that they can make it to international tournaments with teams like EDG, obviously being a regular alongside FPX, and Billy, who've made it here before. For Trace, that's not been the story. It hasn't been a team that we have got to learn about in the past, a team of players that, hey, okay, Bianca, we knew him before, but Kai is making himself known, I'd say.
Not a lot of people had this result on the board. I think maybe Artis predicted this, but double digits for Trace. I think this is a surprise, to say the least. And now, on the cusp of victory, they've won every pistol bar, the one where they won the follow-up. And it looks like we're getting into the same boat. It's Aspas immediately eliminated, and the paranoia used to save them from being pushed down.
Where is he going?
Kai has gone running straight through, and the punish is there. A sense of normality, but with the B aggression, the site is now wide open.
He's gone rogue. At this point, I can't imagine that was the plan. But even still, they're going to come out with an advantage. The first pistol that Leviathan won was off Aspas with a 3K. He had a Blade Storm by round number 3. Well, they're going to need a different hero to step up. King's had his moments. Fong is so far away. He's only just making his presence from behind them. Like, this is such a ridiculous lurk that I don't know if they're even going to question. He's still behind them. They've got to clear the players on the side. They have more pressing matters to attend to than this man sneaking up on the flank. A 3rd kill up, but Com, alongside Mazzino, have done well. They've made this one competitive. They made it possible. It comes down to one, and actually, they've made this one work. They've got enough time to get that defusal over the line somehow. From that position, Leviathan have got a lifeline.
A lifeline indeed. 10-3. That's now both pistols under Leviathan's belt, and well, that's...
Nope, it's not happening again.
You don't think so?
Nope.
The classics?
No shot.
All right.
No, there's no way. If that happens twice, we just end the stream. We just end it. We turn it
11-3,
off.
game over.
That's where it finishes.
We're going home.
It happens, you know. Everybody on watch parties just agrees that I'll get fired if I say all watch parties will click stop streaming.
No, hold on. Don't do that. Please don't do that. 10-3.
I reckon Vanessa's down.
Trace with double digits on the board. And they've gone for mostly classics.
They've got one sheriff. It's not happening this time.
Wow,
that's
they're
a shame.
trolling. They're
Yeah.
throwing. The 5 classic buy, they win it. But that sheriff, it could be the curveball. But in all seriousness, yeah, Leviathan need this round. It looks like Trace are going to play right into their hands. The full utility setup, not just from Deadlock, but from Cypher as well. Camera inside B main. They have everything waiting for this B push. And, indeed, you can see Mazzino's got a net in his hands. The second they make noise, net goes in, and you're completely stopped, which means Kai has no support. Really nice setup by Leviathan.
It's always going to be difficult walking into this setup. Well, Mazzino, he knows his spots. For looking, not really a lot of expectations. As I said, this is how these rounds are supposed to go. Com even playing the Odin. He's got to be careful. He does still have light shield, so the sheriff from any distance will be there to finish him off. But with Aspas watching the cross, they have thought of everything. They've got every angle covered. King just waiting for anybody to try and attempt the plant. And actually, they are going to get a plant. Fair enough. That's at least something. A few extra credits.
Yeah. For that side of Leviathan, confident they can win the fights. And as you can see, it's not misplaced confidence. The follow-up round for Leviathan. This pistol and second has doubled up their numbers on this map so far, and Trace have hit a bit of a roadblock. I will say, again, Mazzino, you're insane for buying the Ares. The weapon is trash. An Ares and Odin buy in second round. Y'all got love hearts in my eyes right now, but it's the net as well. The fact that you have the dash, and the point is that you can immediately follow up with the other 2 players. He's creating a bit of space, and they're swinging with him at least a second or 2 later. Not possible when that net hits them all.
Over there.
Bianca likes the odds, and he's bought one for himself. He's going to try and I'd say counter, but he's not gone to B.
Yeah.
Going for the early setup. And they're walking into Mazzino once again. Now bear in mind the weaponry, not the best. But Lever would be a huge stepping stone back into the match if they can win this with the weaponry that they have. Shock darts are being utilized to clear out a lot of that utility. One of the major things with the sensors is a lot of teams, in fact most teams, will play Jet on this map, and you go dashing out and you're immediately stunned. So the fact that that's removed sells an idea, but here you go. I saw that Odin, I was thinking an A site Odin, bit weird. They're going back towards that B site.
Decent proposed plan, but now the call's being made. They know that there's a player spamming. They know where he was, but they'll be a little bit late to the party. Shift walk up. You have to put some faith in the fact that if Com starts spraying, then Bianca can trade it out. He's actually going to be the first one to start spraying away. The site under pressure. It's Tex inside his cages. Dash in. Good for Kai. He's got control on the right side. Putting pressure on. Aspas toying with the idea of going through. Only has a Guardian, and now the door is closed on him. It's Calm on backside. Odin in hand, and he doesn't last a second. In fact, it's Bianca to wallbang him out of the round. 5 versus 2. Looking for their 11th round. And what would be another nail in Lev's coffin for sure. Putting them to bed here and now 11-4 locked in.
And it's clean. A flawless round for the side of Trace. A great way to kick things off with their economy. As said, that was a weaker purchase. But just how clean everything is. The utility in support. The spams as well. Actually just immediately ruined. And then just meeting Com in his angle and fighting him back with the Odin.
2 wallbang kills as well in that round. Both of the players on B side didn't even get to see a player. They just got shot straight through.
There's no margin for error. A loss here would destroy the economy of Lev and mean they need 8 rounds in a row. The net has been dodged, and actually they seem like they know that King's there. It's not worth the gamble, and there has been a push from the defense on the other side of the map.
Rounds for Trace. Slow start to this one. They know Annihilation is online from Mazino. An ult you definitely have to be cautious of. It's hit most of the time for either squads that it's been deployed. VALORANT, I think, 1 on bind. Smoke down as King runs away, concedes the space. They're beckoning them in. Once that, there you go, once it's broken, the little barrier, take a look at the sonic sensor on A site. This is, like you were saying earlier, Tom, for the dash. But Trace are making noise there and going the exact opposite direction. There'll be a challenge. It's going to be Kai against Aspas. This could be the round decided. If Kai goes down, then they're in trouble.
Mind.
Instead, it's Aspas who falls immediately. Oh, almost catching them on the cross, and in fact, catching them on the way out. Tex completely unaware. Annihilation goes through, but it looks like we'll have a counter spam, some utility perhaps.
It was immediately broken, but it doesn't seem to matter. The time now starting to tick, and they are fighting back into this one, leaving it all onto King. Lockdown going to be used, but he's looking to fight the site. In fact, he can get onto this one without too many problems. The first shot connected. They need a little more, and he's going to get it as well. Leviathan needed a hero. Only one king can wear that crown.
Stepping up when they need him the most. Their back was most certainly against a wall here. Late play through mid, catching them off guard. Same thing that we just saw. Working the way of Trace, and my goodness, he's playing it up to the crowd. 11-5, still a long road back into this, and relying on individual performances is never going to be consistent. But they've managed to take some dangers out of the arsenal of Trace. In particular, Lockdown no longer there. There won't be an easy way into the A site. Annihilation for Mazino has fallen, but Calm back up with a Hunter's Fury. And that's an ult in his hands that you rarely see miss its mark.
Here comes that attack side operator. Kai is looking for this fight once again, looking for Aspas this time. The Brazilian will live to tell the tale. On the other side, a very different setup. The hero of the last round dropped down to a judge, but if anything, in some cases it might be considered an upgrade.
Back up Blade Storm for Kai if he needs it. It's a slow walk up through A short. Drone stopped early. Not able to find any information really, and the counter drone will go through. This one focused on middle again, which hasn't really been held by Leviathan in most of these rounds. It's a much more passive hold around that angle. But after sneaking a player through there last round, it makes sense that they want to clear it and see if anyone's filled in that gap. Still, it's pretty open. Bar a passive play from Calm. Orb taken. Didn't get the ult quite online, but just one away, and the shot from Kai dodges with the dash. Hunter's Fury fired through, and it's got one. Hey, just before the ult comes in, so he can't be rezzed.
Mazino's gone though. That leaves Com to try and make a play above the smoke. Doesn't want to overextend. It will be a post plant. I don't think there's anything that can be done about that. The second shock dart might do a little bit of damage. And some counter being put in. Kai not willing to give up this fight again. He's going to meet his opponent of Aspas and win another battle, but that Odin's still doing damage, still making this one competitive. As Tex looks to try and jump down, he's caught by utility. They know that he's done it. The spam almost trying to act as a distraction, but both players now sat towards the generator, and a full wraparound from Kai, just waiting in the backlines. Tex with everything to do, and he has no idea that there's still another man there. 12-5, 7 chances for one of the greatest upsets we've ever seen.
And no matter what you thought about this squad coming in, how much promise they showed, and even after the match versus Vitality, this, it has to be said, is a massive over-deliver for this squad. Beating Leviathan 2-1, 2-0, that's a big accomplishment. They are grinding them down to dust here.
I was messaging good old Ryan Central, the man who watches every game of China. He's like, I think they could give them a run for their money. I think they could give them a match. But I don't think a 12-5 was ever on the cards. Maybe he'll tell me otherwise. 3-man stack, weaponry weak. The only advantage they have is the fact there's plenty here and the damage they've just done.
Kai barely holding on to his life. 8 HP, it is a lot of damage. Tex tagged low. The weak weapons across the board. It's not looking great. Com's just been wall banged down. A taste of his own medicine. Bianche's been doing this a lot here on the attack side, and the reward is massive. Rotation underway from Mizzino. That's the one main rifle that they have to work with. And a nasty trap setup from Aspas. But if he gets greedy, they've pumped the brakes, they haven't moved. Someone's got to check it eventually. And if he does, they are ready and waiting. But the patience might pay off. He gets Kai, but that's it. Shut down after just one. The trades not coming through for Leviathan. Tex trying his best. 5 shots and a stinger down to the classic. And the Odin spray gets him. It's all on King. 1 versus 2. He clutched it out before. And now has the Vandal to work with. Time ticking, damage done. And he's being pushed back.
Desperately trying to get this kill before he has the chance to isolate the battle. The plant is that moment as he looks for the swing. Nothing connected just yet, but he's definitely tagged a little lower. Isolating these jewels is not going to be easy. They play this one together, and it seems like it's all over. King gets that first spot, but now they know exactly where he is. They're going to try and play this, and they almost line up, but almost doesn't win anything. Last year, champions won by EG. There was a man who said that Americas would never be beaten by China. It's time to take a seat.
There were 2 kings on the server today, Tom, but it's Trace that seemed to have a real shot at the throne. Number 3 Chinese team beating out America's number 1. If you had this in your pick'ems, well, I might take my hat off to you. An upset like we've never seen, and you saw the celebrations after beating Vitality, after winning their first game on the international stage. Well, now they've earned an even bigger celebration. For Leviathan, a well-played game, but today they found out just what China can do.
Yeah, it's so massively impressive. Again, you see those duelists switching up across maps, both having lights out performances. We saw the switch up of Sentinels, the ideas that this squad have had, the leadership, and also, don't play them on Ascent. Don't go anywhere near it at this stage. We spoke about the fact they've beaten FPX a couple of times, a tough team to play against. But now they've come in and taken it off Leviathan. They've come in against one of, if not the best player in the world, and Kai has shown, you know what, I can match him, I can beat him. This team is not a team you want to be facing in that playoff stage. And they have put China on the map for what, like the 8th time at this point? We've got to stop underrating the teams coming through from this region.
They say never meet your idols, Tom. Well, what about beat them? Because that's what Heibei's done here today. An absolutely incredible display of Valorant from the get-go. We knew we were in for something special with this series, but the result and the way, the fashion in which this ended is mind-blowing.
Yeah, I think Champions always has its special moments. It always has its upsets. It always has teams that disappear at the wrong time. And for Leviathan, okay, it's not over. They're still going to look to fight this one back. But the day today goes to Trace. A fantastic performance overall. And you just love to see it.
Well, Tom, after this wonderful win, I'm sure they'll need time for their emotions. But Heibei, he used to look up to Aspas. Now, maybe Aspas can look up to him. Let's toss it down to the Verizon post-match interview where Bella's standing by with Heibei.
It's Bella back with the post-match interviews, and I'm joined by Trace Esports' Heibei and our wonderful translator Echo. Kongshi Kongshi.
Thank you.
네, 오늘 첫 승리를 가져가게 된 트레이스 e스포츠의 헤이베이 선수 인터뷰 만나보겠습니다. 이제 첫 챔피언스에서 중국 팀으로 처음으로 플레이오프를 진출하게 됐어요. 헤이베이 선수의 개인적으로 우상이라고 알려져 있는 아스파스 선수를 상대로 가져간 승리, 좀 소감이 남다를 것 같습니다. Congratulations again, Heibei. First champions, and you're the first Chinese team to make it to the playoffs. And I heard that your idol is Aspas, and you took that win from him today. So how sweet is that today? Tell me everything.
那这一次是你们第1次的全球冠军赛嘛，并且也是第1支进入到了淘汰赛的 CN 的队伍。